A very beautiful morning to all my dear students. Let's start our day with a beautiful quote. Don't wish for it, work for it. Today we will start our chapter 7 of geography section, our country, India. So children, before starting the chapter, let's see what all is there in the chapter. First is size and geographical location of India. Second is political and physical divisions of India. Third is importance of each physical division. And last is understanding the geographical unity of India. Now children, let's see some major facts about India. First is, what is the total area of India? It is 3.28 million square kilometer. Next is, what is the total extent from north to south? That is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. What is the extent of it? It is 3200 kilometer. Next is, what is the extent of India from east to west? It is 2900 kilometer. This means from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh its extent is 2900 kilometer. Next is size by population. So where India stands according to population? After China, India stands at second position. Okay children? Next is size by area. So where India stands according to area of the country, it is fifth largest country according to area. Next is, what is north-south longitudinal extent? It is 8 degree 4 inch north to 37 degree 6 inch north. This means that India lies totally in northern hemisphere. Next is east-west latitudinal extent. That is 68 degree 7 inch east to 97 degree 25 inch east. It shows that India lies in the eastern hemisphere. Next is 82 degree 30 inch has been taken as standard meridian. Next is land frontier. It means what is the length of outer boundary of India? It is 15,200 kilometers. Next and last is coastline. Means what is the length of the coastline border? It is 7,516.6 kilometers. So children, on this page the major facts about India has been explained, which I have already covered. Children, one very important thing has been given on this page. It is in yellow box. You can see what is peninsula. The peninsula is a piece of land that is surrounded by water on all three sides. So children, our country is a peninsular country. Why? Because it is covered with water from three sides. Now children, let's have a look on India's neighbors. Okay, there are 7 countries that share land boundaries with India. Let's see. It is Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. And children, across the sea to the south lie our island neighbors, that is Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Palk Strait. Children, Palk Strait is a narrow piece of land which connects India as a mainland with Sri Lanka as a country. Now children, our country is covered with 3 oceans. Let's see. Bay of Bengal in the east, Arabian Sea in the west and Indian Ocean in the south, and norths are covered with Himalayas. Now children, let's see the political and administrative divisions of India. India is a vast country for administrative purposes. The country is divided into 28 states and 9 union territories. Delhi is the national capital. The states have been formed mainly on the basis of languages. Rajasthan is the largest state of India, whereas Goa is the smallest state of India. Now next, let's see the physical divisions. India is marked by a diversity of physical features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, coasts, and islands. Standing as sentinels in the north are the lofty snow capped Himalayas. Now, children, in this map of India, you can see in the north there are Himalayan ranges, then there is northern plains, then there is Indian desert, then there is Deccan Plateau, and then there is coastal region, that is eastern and western Ghats. Now, children, let me tell you the Himalayas are divided into three main parallel ranges. The northernmost is the Great Himalayas or Himadri. The world's highest peaks are located in this range. Next is Middle Himalayas or Himachal, which lies to the south of Himadri. Many popular hill stations are situated here. Next and last Himalayan range is the Shivalik. Now, children, in this image you can see the number one position is of Great Himalayas, which is known as Himadris. Next is Middle Himalayas, which are also known as Lesser Himalayas or Himachal. And the last Himalayan range is known as Shivaliks. Now, children, let me explain you little about the Himalayan ranges. The very first is Himadri or Greater Himalayas. It is the most continuous range with a height of 6,000 meters. It remains snow covered almost all throughout the year, resulting in formation of glaciers and perennial rivers. Children, perennial rivers are the rivers which have water throughout the year. These kind of rivers are known as perennial rivers. Let's see Himachal or Lesser Himalayas or the Middle Himalayas. This range lies to the south of Himadri with an average height between 3700 to 4500 meter. It has some famous valleys like Kullu, Kangra and Kashmir, which is also famous for its hills. The average width of this range is 50 kilometers. The third is Shivaliks, which are also known as Outer Himalayas. It is the outermost range of Himalayas with an average height between 900 to 1100 meters. They are prone to earthquakes and landslides because they are mostly made up of consolidated rocks. The valley that lies between Himachal and Shivalik is known as dunes like Dehradun, Kotli Dun, Patlin Dun, etc. Next is let's talk about the northern Indian plains. It lies to the south of the Himalayas. They are generally level and flat. These are formed by the alluvial deposits laid down by the rivers, the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, and their tributaries. These river plains provide fertile land for cultivation. That is the reason for high concentration of population in these plains. Next, in the western part of India lies the Great Indian Desert. It is a dry, hot, and sandy stretch of land. It has very little vegetation. Let's see the next physical division, which is a plateau. To the south of northern plains lies the Peninsular Plateau. It is triangular in shape. The relief is highly uneven. This is a region with numerous hill ranges and valleys. Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest ranges of the world, border it on the northwest side. The Vindhyas and the Satpuras are the important ranges. The rivers Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. These are west flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. The Western Ghats or Sahyadris border the plateau in the west, and the Eastern Ghats provide eastern boundary, while the Western Ghats are almost continuous. The Eastern Ghats are broken and uneven. The plateau is rich in minerals like coal and iron ore. Now, let's switch on to the next physical feature of India, which are coastal plains. To the west of the Western Ghats and the east of the Eastern Ghats lies the coastal plains. The western plains are much broader. There are a number of east flowing rivers. The rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri drain into the Bay of Bengal. The rivers have formed fertile deltas at their mouth. The Sundarban Delta is formed where the Ganga and the Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal. Now let's switch to last physical feature of India, which are group of islands. Two groups of islands also form part of India. Lakshadweep Island are located in the Arabian Sea. These are coral islands located off the coast of Kerala, whereas the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands lie to the southeast of the Indian mainland in the Bay of Bengal. Now children, let's have a look on these side boxes. First, let us see this yellow box, alluvial deposits. These are very fine solids brought by rivers and deposited in the river basins. Next is water tributary, a river or stream which contributes its water to a main river by discharging it into main river from either side. Now let's read the blue box. Do you know? The Ganga and Brahmaputra form the world's largest delta, the Sundarban Delta. The delta is triangular in shape. It is an area of land formed at the mouth of the river. Now let's see the last blue box. Do you know? Corals are skeletons of tiny marine animals called polyps. When the living polyps die, their skeletons are left. Other polyps grow on top of the hard skeleton, which grows higher and higher, thus forming the coral islands. I hope you all have understood the chapter. So until we meet again, till then, bye bye.